Stop ignoring the red flags in your relationship.
I mean, a real woman would know that this marriage is over. A real marriage would know that this man doesn't want or respect you by the way.
Well, every couple has issues, but sometimes they're so big they may be a deal breaker.
It seems like Shirley Strawberry is in serious trouble, and with all the drama surrounding her personal life, she is about to face another major crisis. As it was reported, Shirley's boss, Steve Harvey, is not happy that his name is being dragged into this mess. And amidst the news that Shirley decided to stick by her hubby's side, the famous comedian and TV and radio host accused his co-host in staining the perfect reputation of his show by her actions. Hi everyone, and welcome back to Celeb Live Channel. Unless you live under a rock, you probably heard about Shirley Strawberry's husband, Ernesto Williams, and his criminal activities. And guys, considering the amount of charges he is facing, this man stepped into a very big pile of stinky mud. But here's where the story gets even juicier. Apparently, Shirley decided to turn a blind eye to everything that the prosecutor says about her lovely hubby, and in a shocking turn of events, she sent a letter to the judge begging his to release this guy into her custody. And as insiders say, Steve Harvey is not so happy about this, and Shirley's behavior is seriously frightening him.
Goes from bad to worse to worser to worstest.
Apparently, Steve Harvey wants to distance himself from this trauma, but it's too late because the whole world knows that it was the king of relationship advice that had helped this romance between Shirley and Ernesto to bloom. The couple met in 2013, and Ernesto proposed to Shirley on a live radio show with the help of Steve Harvey himself. And it seems like the famous relationship guru couldn't be happier for his co-host's personal happiness.
Go, girl!
Yeah! What?
Shirley Strawberry!
Happy birthday and congratulations, Shirley Strawberry is engaged!
As insiders claim, Steve now demands that Shirley makes a choice, whether she actually wants to support this criminal element because it may cost her her career on the radio. Well, Steve Harvey values his reputation above anything else, because when your name is mixed with some shady stories, it's easy to love people's love and respect. And for Steve, it would mean $1 million worth contract. Apparently, Steve is not ready to lose everything in his life because of one lady. And even though she has been working with him since 2000, Harvey doesn't want this family drama to ruin the years of his hard work.
When we get focused on something, how things are being brought to light that have normally been covered up.
As for Shirley herself, may be willing to withstand any storm with this Ernesto guy. And despite the horrible charges, she wants to take him back because he's the love of her life. When the couple of them got married, she was glowing from happiness and even stated, "I'm working to be an even better wife to my second husband with the lessons that I've learned from the mistakes that I made." But apparently, Shirley didn't consider the main thing, to do some background check, and it's speculated that she was so blinded by her love to his man that she had been turning a blind eye to his fraudulent schemes and scamming. Williams, who pretended to be an honest businessman, successfully played his role as an entrepreneur and owner of Ernesto Cuts. The guy has built a profession in the men's grooming industry, demonstrating his expertise and passion for his work, but it turned out it was only a facade for his real business when he was arrested on fraud charges, along with his accomplice, a woman called Erica King, who is also said to be his mistress.
For years, Ernesto Williams and Erica King passed themselves off as experts in various fields.
According to Roswell police, Ernesto and Erica deceived dozens of people posing as coaches and convinced people that they could help them promote their brand and business. As a police officer stated, they would align themselves with their victims with promises to be able to grow their brands, their missions, their life goals, their social media followings, and the fraudulent schemes could continue for decades. Ernesto and Erica didn't make a huge mistake when they stopped paying rent for their house, which was located just a few yards away from Shirley Strawberry's family home. Apparently, this man thought he could get away with everything and stopped being cautious. And this is exactly when the police began digging into his dirty affairs, until they found out the truth.
In doing this for a significant period of time and are proficient enough that they can make people comfortable and act against their better judgment.
Williams and King are now in jail.
Further, it was discovered that the real gentleman Ernesto, as Shirley once described him, was a convicted felon, and he has an extensive criminal record that includes serving time in prison for fraud and armed robbery. Many netizens wonder why Shirley is still covering for this guy and even wants him to be released considering the accusation. And they agree with Steve Harvey that the radio host has to choose between her career and marriage because if she stays on the Steve Harvey show, the ratings could tank. As one person commented, Shirley is just like everyone else looking for love and sorry she found it in the wrong place. And another user added, "This is what happens when you're thirsty for marriage. This type of man can smell a woman's desperation a mile away." Of course, no reputable person would want to be associated with this drama, and it seems like Steve, despite his endless love for Shirley, wants to be firm about the image of his show. Well, on one hand, Steve is right about making his co-host choose what matters more for her. And when it comes to taking radical steps like firing her from the show, Harvey wouldn't hesitate a second because the works of hundreds of people depends on this decision.
When it comes to adult contemporary radio, ain't nobody done it this long. Ain't nobody been consistently number one. Largest market share today. I got the largest number of people today.
Steve Harvey now believes this is already a lost case for Ernesto, considering how serious the charges are, and he might be spending the rest of his life as jail. So Steve doesn't understand why Shirley is so eager to throw her life under the bus for this person. Along this Ernesto scamming business, the police was able to discover more shady details of Cheryl's husband's life, and guys, they make all normal people shrug in disgust. Brace yourselves when you find out that Ernesto was keeping some inappropriate images on his computer, and the nature of these files is beyond creepy as they involve individuals under 18. And when you guys think that any normal woman would run away from a man like this the same second she finds out, it seems like Shirley Strawberry wants to stick to this guy through thick and thin and wonder what kind of lies he had told her that she still wants this guy around.
Sometimes even strong, beautiful young women get into bad situations. I mean, I was one of those.
Steve Harvey must be pretty mad at Shirley's choice, and it seems like she was also trying to get his help in hiding Ernesto outside of the country, as the prosecutor claimed he eavesdropped on a call between Ernesto and his wife, where she was saying to her hubby that her boss, and that's Steve Harvey, had a second home in Abu Dhabi, and that he may be willing to provide it to Ernesto so he could leave the country and evade prosecution. Steve doesn't understand what on earth is happening to this woman and why she's ready to wreck her own life and reputation for this guy. The story gets even creepier when you guys find out that the judge ordered Ernesto Williams to stay away from Strawberry's daughter, Sheridan, and her 2 children. He was also ordered to avoid any contact with animals and has to remain in jail. And Steve Harvey is beyond disgusted by this man's shady activities.
Obviously, you talking about some lines in your mind, because he don't see no line. Right. He doing what he do all the way.
However, despite Steve's seemingly reasonable arguments, Shirley lives in her fairy tale dream and doesn't want to listen to anyone and anything. Well, considering she went behind Steve's back and offered her hubby to hide to Steve's residence abroad, it feels like there's no line she wouldn't cross to help this man out of jail. As Steve says, Shirley is delusional and her judgment is clouded by the never-ending love for Ernesto and his chivalry actions. When describing her first impressions of this man, she said, "He was so easy to talk to. He was just the perfect Southern gentleman." Apparently, she's the only one who still sees a gentleman in her husband, despite all the horrible things he had done. And it may take more than just Steve's words to bring her back to earth.
I'm still on a cloud. I haven't come down yet. I really haven't.
As the world is waiting for more details of this creepy love story, Shirley Strawberry has her own dilemma as she hasn't yet publicly issued a statement about the future of her personal life. It seems to many people that she is desperate to keep this man in her life and is ready to turn a blind eye to all his atrocities. As Fan says, Shirley is making the biggest mistake of her love defending this man. As one person commented, Shirley needs to wake up and run for her life. Show some discernment. And another user added, love will make some people do stupid things, and this is one of them. Let's pray she will wake up and smell the coffee. But no matter what the audience thinks, it's still Shirley's decision. But as Steve Harvey hinted, she will have to choose, as she can only keep one thing in a life, a husband or a career. And what do you think about all this, guys? Will Shirley come to her senses after Steve Harvey's confrontation? Or will she stay by her hubby's side? Share your thoughts in the comments below. I'm eager to know what you're thinking. And in the meantime, check my other videos about the secret lives of celebrities. Well, that's all for today. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned, and I promise to be back very soon.